日本語を勉強しましょう。うどんうどんうどんうどん教室へようこそ。始めるぞ。
Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to another beginner lesson from Udon Classroom, and I'm so happy to be here. And let's just go, guys. Let's start getting your Japanese to the next level, okay? Some more basics today. We're going to be looking at rewinding to the past. Okay, we're going to be looking at past sentence structures. I ate the cake. I was a dog in a past life. That kind of thing. So we're talking past today, so it's good to look back, reflect. So let's get into it. As always, we're going to be splitting today's lesson up into 4 different parts. We've got the vocabulary, we're going to learn lots of new words. We've got the grammar, we're going to learn how to formulate these sentences. Okay, look at the thinking behind the sentences. Then we're also going to be looking at the sentences. We're going to be building lots of sentences to help you structure all these different new vocabulary words, and also just to get used to actually using these things. And lastly, we'll be doing a summary just to cover everything that we've been through to help you absorb the knowledge a lot better. Okay guys, so let's jump straight in to the vocabulary today. Oh yeah. Okay guys, first we have senshu, which means last week. What did you do last week? Next we have kyonen, which means last year, a bit further back. Next we have sengetsu, which means last month. Then we have tobu, to fly. Korosu. This means to kill. To kill. You never know when you might need this word. Very handy. Oyogu is the next word, and it means to swim. Wait. The next word is matsu, which means to wait. Then we have a short word, you, which means to say. It's a really useful word and one that you're going to be using a lot in the future. Odoru, which means to dance. Lastly, we have suwaru, which means to sit, like I'm doing right now, just relaxing. Suwaru. Okay, so that was the vocabulary. Now we're going to be moving on to the grammar. So what we're going to do first is take a look at a simple am or is sentence and turning that into a was sentence. So what you need to remember is that des, which is or am, becomes deshita, which means was. And da, which is the more casual form, becomes datta. Deshita, datta. Let's take a look at an example sentence for this. Okay, so this is a very simple sentence. これは僕のペンです。これは僕のペンです。And this means this is my pen. So if we want to change to the past form, all we do is turn the des into deshita, and that becomes this was my pen. これは僕のペンでした。This was my pen. So it's really simple. Des becomes deshita. Okay, and it's the same with da. 翔太さんは私の友達だ。翔太さんは私の友達だ。That becomes datta. 翔太は私の友達だった。Shota is my friend. Shota was my friend. I hate him now. Shota さんは僕の友達だった。And really guys, for those simple structures, it's as easy as that. There's nothing to worry about. So it's good to practice that. But now it gets really hard when we change verbs into the past. So let's start tackling that right now. So you may remember from last lesson that verbs in Japanese are split up into 3 different groups. Group 1, the iru and eru verbs. These are the verbs that end in iru or eru. Group 2, the u verbs. These are verbs that end in ku, mu, bu, nu, su, u, all of those. There's a few there, probably on screen right now that I didn't get. So remember those. And lastly, we have group 3, suru and kuru. Now these 2 guys are just on their own, just chilling out in group 3. So what this means is that when we conjugate these different verbs into the past form, sit, sat, eat, ate, they all have different rule sets in how to change them into the past. But keep in mind that all dictionary past verb forms end with an A sound. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the easiest group first, which is the group 1, iru and eru verbs. Now for this group, all you do is take off the ru and add ta. Simple as that. For example, taberu, to eat, becomes tabeta. Taberu, take off the ru, add the ta, tabeta, ate. Another example, miru, miru, take off the ru and add ta, mita, see becomes saw. So that's as easy as it is for group 1. Group 2, the u verbs are very difficult. It's a different story, so we're going to skip those, leave them to last, and we're going to do group 3, suru and kuru. Okay, so suru becomes shita, shita. Benkyou suru, to study. Benkyou shita, studied. Okay, kuru, to come, becomes kita, kita, came. So all you have to do in group 3 is just remember those two on their own. Suru, shita, kuru, kita. Okay, so now we have the hardest group to tackle, so we save the best till last. Okay, so what we've got to remember here is that they all have different kind of endings at the end. U, ku, gu, mu, nu, su, and so on and so on. And each different ending changes differently. Ku becomes ita. Example, kiku, kita. Gu becomes ida. Example, oyogu, oyoida. Swam. Su becomes shita. Example, korosu, koroshita. Killed. Mu becomes nda. Example, nomu, nonda. Drank. Nu becomes nda. For example, shinu, shinda. Died. Bu becomes nda. For example, tobu, tonda. Flew. U becomes ta, ta. Example, cow, katta, bought. Tsu becomes ta. For example, matsu, matta. Ru becomes ta. For example, suwaru, suwatta. Now, I promise you guys, it does get easier. All you've got to do is just write them down in a list and just keep memorizing them. Eventually, they will just be automatic in your brain. At first, it's very overwhelming, but you will get it. It just takes practice. So, now let's take a look at some sentences and start putting all of this together. Okay, let's do it. Let's just start putting the puzzle pieces together and start learning Japanese properly. Senshu ringo o tabeta. Senshu ringo o tabeta. This means last week I ate an apple. Sengetsu kanojo to odotta. Last month I danced with my girlfriend. Kyonen boku wa inu datta. Kyonen boku wa inu datta. Last year I was a dog. Just so happens I was a dog. Now I'm a human. Oh. Boom. Kino nihongo o benkyou shita. Kino nihongo o benkyou shita. Yesterday I studied Japanese. Hon o kaita. Hon o kaita. I wrote a book. I wrote a book. So guys, great job. I know it's a lot to grasp at first, but you will get there. Just believe me, okay? So we're gonna look at the summary now. So, let's go. Senshu, last week. Kyonen, last year. Sengetsu, last month. Tobu, to fly. Korosu, to kill. Oyogu, to swim. Matsu, to wait. You, to say. Suwaru, to sit. Odoru, to dance. In standard is, am sentences, des becomes deshita. Da becomes datta. To make was sentences. Depending on each verb group, the ending of the verb conjugates differently. Make sure to practice writing out as many verbs as you can and conjugate them on paper or in your head. Okay guys, hope you enjoyed the lesson. Next week we're going to have a look at some negatives. So we're talking negative verbs, negative sentences, everything negative. And you know, that's not my thing really. I'm normally a positive guy, really positive, but we're going to go negative just for next week, okay? So bear with me. Don't feel too depressed. Okay guys, really good job. You're doing really well. See you again soon.